All right, hey, I'm Josh Berkowitz, the owner of Crestview Public Adjusters. We represent policyholders when they have first-party claims against insurance companies, and we're here just to, get more educated on cyber insurance and help people understand what we do.
So knowing that, what I would like to do though, so about this is, tell me a little less about the organization. Now, tell me a little bit more about you, because we got a variety of people. So I got to talk orgs and I got to talk people. So we're gonna get a little bit of everything in here.
Sure. So,
so for today, give me a little update on how you got into cybersecurity and kind of
what you got
going on.
You can hear me, right? Does the sound work? Okay. So my background is really representing owners of real estate, commercial owners of real estate when they have property damage. And a couple of years ago, I met with an individual who represented big companies when they got breached against insurance companies to represent them. So being an expert in the field of representing policyholders against insurance companies with property damage, I started getting more educated on the subject about 2.5 years ago. And then we got our first lead in our first claim. So after handling that and getting our feet wet, we started building up what we call like a cyber ops team to help us and help our clients when they have claims against insurance companies in the cyberspace. So that's really how we've kind of evolved. I became an expert on the property damage side, and using those skills negotiate with insurance companies on behalf of policyholders, kind of using that to our advantage to help the policyholder out.
That is absolutely awesome, because it just shows the transition of being able to do one career field and bring that into the other. And that's a lot about what I talk about, is being able to take what bring that into cybersecurity and be able to establish that. So that is absolutely awesome, and I love hearing that. And so going from that, what do you think was the biggest benefit? Whether it's a hard skill or soft skill, what was the biggest skill took from one to the other?
And the policyholder, and being an advocate for the policyholder against insurance companies, we should understand the insurance policy better than the insurance company. So that's one aspect of this business where we kind of are above everyone else. So insurance companies, we don't really let them tell us where there's coverage. We're kind of telling them, hey, this is where it says what it says in the policy, and this is why you should cover XYZ for happening. And that's really important, because you want to make sure you have an advocate on your side when you have, any type of insurance claim, especially cyber insurance breach or any type of claim.
So would you say in that aspect, would you say that cyber insurance, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question, because I have a huge issue with the way cyber insurance initially came in versus where they are now. Because I still relegate my mindset to where they came in at of, you did the bare minimum, right? So with where you're at now, so bringing real estate, and real estate has always been huge in insurance. They investigate everything from the code to how things are built, to how it was designed, to everything. Do you think cyber insurance is at that level, or do they still have a way to go?
They still have a ways to go. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been in real estate for 15 years, but they still have a long ways to go. There's a tremendous long way to go. I think to be honest with you, what's scary is what's gonna happen in 5 years from now, because insurance companies are losing a ton of money by paying out claims. So are they still going to be in the space of insurance, cyber insurance? That's what really could be potential here. But hopefully they stay in the space, and they're just going to make it stricter for people to get insurance. And they're going to increase premiums, because they got in, when you were talking about the start of the space, when they started getting into the space, premiums for anyone to get insurance, and people were talking about earlier, to get insurance, within 30 seconds, you can have cyber insurance. That's no longer available to anyone at this point. They have to have pen tests, different, steps to take in order to get insurance now. So there's still a long ways to go, but that's all the more so why there's more of a need for someone on the policyholder side to help out, against the insurance.
All right, so I got two more questions for you. The first one is, do you think that auditors, especially constant auditors, I have a backstory on this, by the way, so I will advise on that.
I to be honest, I don't really know. I don't want to I don't have an opinion on that.
All right. So the reason I asked that question is because I have seen auditors who make friends with the owners of the companies and the CEOs and things like that. And so they get passed every time on their audits as if they're doing everything right. So when it goes to the insurance companies say, oh yeah, they passed on their audits. They're good to go. They're doing their due diligence, da, 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 da. But knowing insight information that is not.
Well, I think it's always better to have
occasion.
a third party come in and analyze the situation, not even an auditor. You have an auditor and you have someone that is looking at the auditor. I don't know if there's such thing as that, but to your point, I think that's probably, not the best. There's probably some unethical situation there if they're just going to keep auditing them over and over again.
You're absolutely right. And that was the big thing I was getting to is being able, I think there needs to come into play. If you're going to have auditing and insurance, you need to have auditors change every year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. There needs to be a plan in place for the insurance adjusters to be able to say, hey, you had the same auditor for like 10 years, the same exact guy. There's an issue here.
Sure.
And so I think that's where a lot of the problem comes into play. Now, the final question is, and like I've been doing this entire night, if you could give any advice to anybody breaking into cybersecurity, whether it's in insurance or whatever you know about cybersecurity, what advice do you have to give?
My advice is if you want to help out the policyholder and people, large companies, get a public adjuster license and contact us because there aren't many people in our space, and there's a big opportunity in the cyberspace to represent policyholders against insurance companies.
And what is the best way to break into auditing if you know?
Just get a license, start getting education, networking, going to networking events and things like that. I mean, going to networking events like this is definitely where you meet people.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. Thank you for joining me this evening.